What's good, fam? ASAP Rocky just offered to give Drake the most disrespectful fade in the history of hip-hop, and he is not even asking for a boxing ring or a referee to save him. On August 5th of 2026, Rocky sat down for an interview with Jason Lee and finally stopped playing nice, telling the world he would fight Drake bare-knuckle, like the Irish, to settle the score for good. This was not some staged celebrity match for a paycheck or a viral clip, but a direct response to years of Drake acting like he had some kind of claim to Rihanna.
Since I was 22 years old,
I don't have the fairy tale like, oh, Drake started a family with Rihanna. And by the way, I wanted that too at one time.
ASAP Rocky revealing where he stands now with Rihanna's ex, Drake, on Apple Music's The Ebro Show, after fans sensed some hostility on the 37-year-old's newest album, Don't Be Dumb.
Rocky basically told the world that the time for rapping is over because Kendrick Lamar already hit the kill switch on Drake's entire career with the song Not Like Us. According to Rocky, that track was the definitive end for the OVO dominance we have seen for the last decade, and trying to come back now is like trying to restart a heart that has been flatlining for a year. It is clear that Rocky is standing 10 toes down as a West Coast ally, and he is making it known that the disrespect toward the mother of his children has officially moved past the recording booth. When you
The beef economy just doesn't need a fight. The offer is the product.
Have a man like Rocky, who is usually the most chilled out person in the room, offering to throw hands without gloves, you know the professional beef has turned into a deep personal hatred that Drake cannot outstring or outchart. Drake spent years pretending he is this untouchable mob boss, but Rocky just exposed the fact that nobody in the industry is scared of that persona anymore. This bare-knuckle challenge is the ultimate sign that the cool factor Drake relied on for 15 years has completely evaporated, and he is now being treated like a person who can be touched anywhere at any time. While Rocky is out here offering real physical smoke, Drake is busy in the studio trying to manufacture a comeback that nobody actually asked for.
Wherever this is, it understand, even though you say I lost, the world was entertained.
On May 15th of 2026, Drake released his 15th #1 album called Iceman, and it sounds like the loudest cry for help we have heard from a superstar in a long time. Instead of moving on and showing growth as an artist, Drake used the track 1 a.m. in Albany to take a massive swing at LeBron James. He started mocking LeBron for his lack of loyalty to the OVO camp, which is wild considering LeBron was one of the few people who stayed neutral as long as he possibly could. Drake is out here burning a bridge with the greatest basketball player of our generation just because LeBron had the audacity to dance to a Kendrick song at a party. It shows that Drake has officially entered his bitter era where he would rather have 0 friends than have friends who do not worship him at all times.
We was once friends. I feel like he wasn't happy and he expressed that. I do think that it's petty. I just don't f with him.
He did not even stop at LeBron because on the track, Make Them Remember, he actually went after Dr. Dre. Taking shots at a West Coast legend like Dre after the year Drake just had is pure insanity, and it proves he is willing to burn down the entire industry just to stay in the headlines for another 48 hours. Fans and critics are all saying the same thing about the Iceman album, which is that it confirms Drake absolutely cannot let go of the loss he took in 2024. He is trading away long-term industry respect and the relationships that built his empire just to get some temporary engagement from a shrinking circle of stans. It is a desperate move from a man who used to be the life of the party, but is now the guy screaming at the clouds because the world moved on without him.
His son Adonis turns 9 in October. Riri welcomed her third child, a girl, with Rocky in September.
I live for it. It's never a dull moment.
That desperation is spilling over from the recording studio straight into the legal system, and watching this play out from the sidelines is getting painful. Drake is currently fighting to appeal that October 2025 dismissal regarding his defamation suit against UMG, but these new documents look like a massive self-own. In April of 2026, he filed a brief arguing that the song Not Like Us was some kind of coordinated hit job designed to label him a predator. He is basically trying to use a judge to do what his diss tracks failed to do, which was to shut down the narrative for good. Things got even worse in May of 2026 when the Yale Media Freedom and Information Access Clinic stepped in to offer their own take on the situation.
They know there's no fight. This is 2 billionaires worth of net worth performing WWE promo work. And
these scholars basically laughed his case out of the building by arguing that he gave his full consent to this fight when it started. They pulled the receipts from his own tailor-made freestyle where Drake literally dared Kendrick to talk about him liking young girls. You cannot beg a man to bring the heat and then run to the authorities when the fire gets too hot. But that is exactly what Aubrey is doing. The Yale brief points out that Drake set the rules for this engagement himself, and trying to sue after taking a loss violates every free speech principle in hip-hop. This whole legal play is blowing up in his face because it makes him look like a guy who hides behind the legal team once he stops winning on the charts.
The beef economy just doesn't need a fight. The offer is the product.
It is easily the most un-hip-hop move we have ever seen, and it only validates what Kendrick said about him being a colonizer who does not respect the culture. Drake thought he could bully his way through the industry with lawsuits, but he just gave everyone another reason to call him a fraud who only wins when the game is rigged. This entire mess proves he is no longer sitting at the top of the mountain, but is instead just a man trying to clean a crown that fell in the dirt. He is losing his cool and his friends while watching his dignity disappear in a courtroom. Kendrick's victory lap turned into a worldwide takeover when 133 million people watched him headline Super Bowl 59 on February 9th of 2025. That record-breaking number put him on a level that no other rapper can touch, serving as the final nail in the coffin for this battle. While Kendrick was owning the biggest stage on earth, Drake was reportedly stuck in a room trying to figure out how to stop the bleeding while his camp stayed silent. Fast forward to February 9th of 2026. And the contrast is just sad because the entire energy around the OVO name has shifted. Rumors started flying that Drake was actually offered the headline slot for Super Bowl 60, but he turned it down to supposedly focus on his music and avoid the revenge narrative.
Man, I'm trying to start a theater, and you know what I mean? But Drake and Kendrick, whether they know it or not, they stuck to the art. I think they can do it good because you can know they weren't gonna pull out no guns.
Nobody in the industry believed that for a second, and most people saw it as a move made out of pure fear. You do not pass on the Super Bowl unless you know for a fact that you cannot top the performance that came before you. That powerhouse image took another hit on May 13th of 2026 when FIFA announced the performers for the upcoming World Cup halftime show. Even with the tournament happening in North America, FIFA ignored Drake and went with Madonna and BTS to lead the show instead. Getting skipped for a global event in your own territory shows that the OVO brand is getting toxic to major sponsors who want no part of this drama. Kendrick is out here stacking up historic wins while Drake is spiraling in a legal mess that makes him look smaller every single day. The cultural gap between the two is growing so wide that it feels like they are not even in the same profession anymore. Before we move on and see how Drake is crashing out and burning his last bridges with the real icons like LeBron, tell me what y'all think. Is the OVO brand officially too toxic for these big global sponsors now? Tell me in the comments. No cap. While you at it, like and subscribe. Let's continue. Drake is not just losing a rap battle because he is actually getting evicted from the cultural center of hip-hop by the same people who built this platform. For 15 years, he was the backbone of everything cool in the streets, but he is burning those bridges by attacking the icons who kept him in the conversation.
Yeah, what I think Drake and Kendrick them should do, because at the end of the day, the record label, we still losing in the end, bro. We still don't own that stuff.
Taking shots at LeBron James and A$AP Rocky is a wild move that tells the real gatekeepers he no longer cares about being in the circle that actually matters. Drake is losing the massive support system that let him dominate the game for a decade, and he seems clueless about the permanent damage he is doing to his legacy. This Iceman era is going to be remembered as the exact moment Drake officially turned into a legacy act who just spends his time talking to himself on records. He is becoming the kind of artist who complains about the past because the present is too painful and his old friends are not sticking around to hear the excuses. Rocky offering a bare-knuckle fight is the final proof that the tough guy act is dead, and nobody believes that mob boss persona Drake keeps trying to sell. When a man known for fashion and vibes like Rocky tells the world he will beat the brakes off you without gloves, your fear factor has officially hit zero. Drake spent years trying to convince everyone he has dangerous connections, but Rocky just exposed him as someone you can challenge without worrying about the consequences. Kendrick Lamar did way more than just drop a few successful diss tracks because he actually made it safe for the whole industry to finally speak on Aubrey. The house that OVO built is falling apart from the inside out, and we are watching a cultural eviction that no amount of money or streams can stop.
Wherever this is, it understand, even though you say I lost, the world was entertained.
Drake is no longer the artist that everyone wants to be seen with, and that is a much deeper loss than any rap battle or chart position. He is getting pushed to the edges of the culture he once controlled, and it is happening because he put his ego over the people who made him a star. Before we look at how Drake tries to spin this FIFA snub as a calculated move, tell me in the comments. If you think Drake is a legacy act, no cap. Let me know if you think he has one more real run left in the tank, and make sure you like and subscribe while you are at it.